All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. So we got everybody, and Representative Carpenter is online, so. Consideration and approval of minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to look them over? So take a motion. Speaker Hawkins.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Got a motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Sykes. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 2, consideration and possible approval of employment by contract of attorney or attorneys pursuant to KSA 46-1204. There is some interest from the legislature to file an amicus in the case that's going on between the Attorney General and the governor. So are there any questions? Senator Sykes.
Do we have a dollar amount of what this would cost or limit of what we would be willing to pay?
I don't have anything at this time. I don't know if we're just filing the one brief. I don't know that'd be all that much, but I would not plan to put a dollar amount in, or we're still looking at who that might be. So we're not required to have that necessarily in this motion. This is just authorization. Further questions? Representative Woodard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess my question would be who makes the final call if we're making a brief that's representing the whole legislature without the legislature taking a position on this? I guess.
Yeah, it'd be the LCC, which is standard in representing the legislature outside of session.
It would come back to us to approve any sort of.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd take a motion. Oh, Senator Sykes.
Just to follow up, I mean, I do have some concerns. I mean, I think this is a power between the governor and the attorney general, and I think they're playing politics, and I think we should be the adults in the room and stay out of it.
So my only comment to that is that we are being the adults in the room because we set the statute, and we need the kids to play by the rules, and we set the rules. Speaker Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve an employment by contract of the attorney or attorneys pursuant to KSA 46-1204.
So I have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Julia Croft. Discussion. And I just got notified that it's not required to come back, so I didn't want to make sure I was misspoke, and there may or may not be enough time. So I don't want that to go off the record before we cast a vote. Further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Aye.
No.
Thank you. We got you, Representative Carpenter. Thank you for chiming in. All right, thank you. We will move on to item number 3, authorization for the President and Speaker to assign interim committee bills to House of Origin. Gordon.
Mr. Chairperson, item 3 is the legislative branch holidays. Do you want to take that first?
Let's do that.
All right. The governor has announced the executive branch state holidays for 2026, and so it is customary that the legislature establishes their holidays by the LCC action. It is identical to the governor's holidays announced, including the discretionary day, with the exception of, as has been the last few years, Good Friday is a legislative state holiday.
Any questions? Speaker Hawkins.
This looks like it's exactly the same as this year's, correct? As far as the days?
It's the same as what, I'm sorry?
It looks like it's exactly what we've been doing.
It is correct. It's the same holidays as you did a year ago and the year before that, et cetera.
Speaker Hawkins.
There is an extra day?
Tom, do you want to? Oh, Christmas Eve. This adds Christmas Eve?
Yes. From time to time, depending upon when Christmas falls, sometimes it's a 2-day holiday and sometimes it's a 1-day holiday, depending upon when it falls during the week. But the 2 days is the same as the governor's executive branch state holidays.
Gotcha. Speaker Hawkins.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the legislative holidays for 2026.
Got a motion, is there a second? Second by Representative Woodard. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now we're ready for item 4. This is the President and Speaker to assign committee bills to the House of Origin. Gordon?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The interim committees are authorized to recommend bills for introduction that accompany their reports. And as is tradition, that usually occurs in November, December as they finish their studies. And the president and the speaker have traditionally assigned the House of Origin, often based on recommendations from the committee, but it requires approval of the LCC.
Committee questions? Speaker Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we authorize the president and the speaker to assign interim committee bills to the House of Origin.
Motions are second. Second by Majority Leader Blasey. Is there a discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 5, authorization of joint committees that have authority to sponsor legislation to pre-file bills. Back to Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a similar annual action by the LCC. This relates to joint committees, which are typically created by statute. The joint committees that do have authority to sponsor legislation by statute need authority to pre-file those bills before the 2026 session.
Questions for Gordon? Seeing none, Speaker Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we authorize the joint committees to have authority to sponsor legislation to pre-file bills.
A motion by the Speaker. Do I have a second? Vice President Schallenberger. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 6, update on ks, the modernization project. This is Tom Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you recall, on the October 13th, 2025 meeting, the LCC accepted the recommendations of the Legislative Coordinating Council Subcommittee on Administration to not use the new ks system during the 2026 legislative session. In addition, on behalf of the Legislative Coordinating Council, the LCC Subcommittee on Administration, and in accordance with the contract that we have with Propylon, issued a stop work order, and that stop work order was delivered to Propylon on October 27th and was effective until November 30, 2025. While the stop work order is in place, the steering committee will be exploring several options pursuant to the motion that was made on October 13th, and those options include continuing to work with Propylon, terminating the relationship, initiating this process of seeking a new vendor, or developing a new system with in-house capabilities as well as with some vendor resources. We are investigating alternative options to Propylon, contacting several state legislatures to discuss their automated systems. And as we've talked about in the past, the automated systems of the states vary considerably. We have a complete end-to-end system. Many states only deal with bill drafting or other aspects of the legislative process. But we will be talking to states that are currently with Propylon or formerly with Propylon, or those that have developed their own systems with in-house staff and possibly consultants and or a vendor working alongside them. We've also reached out to Propylon's management to initiate discussions to modifying the project's implementation and development plans. And it's expected that the steering committee representatives and Propylon will meet in the coming weeks or possibly even in the coming days to begin discussions. The steering committee will continue to provide weekly updates to the LCC subcommittee and is preparing a comprehensive status report on the project and will provide its recommendations by the LCC's December meeting, which was the gist of the motion that was made at the October 13th meeting. Mr. Chairman, I'll stand for questions if anybody has any.
Committee questions for Tom? Seeing none, appreciate the update. We're going to move on to item 7, review and possible action on LCC policy 33 and 38. Although I don't think there's action necessary, I mean, policy 33, there was some discussion whether or not we're trying to retroactively approve something. The speaker and I determined that the letter sent was a non-policy issue, which is pursuant under policy 33, so there was nothing additional needing to be done. The policy was met. So I don't know if there need any, if committees want discussion on that. But other than that, but then 38 was the franking, the piece on franking, and we would requested that we have some language come back on that. And I think that has been provided on franking. So, oh, there it is. So, and again, since the action was taken last LCC meeting, and this was just subject to this language, I don't even think we need to take additional action here unless the committee sees that differently. It's just reviewing it and that this is the language that we were making, that this basically represents what we did last week. So any questions on that? Yeah, we've already voted. So we got anybody? Senator Sykes.
Thank you. Just for clarification, and I see the letter that was submitted, what was the criteria that you use for policy versus non-policy? Because I could argue that trying to put someone on a committee would be a policy position, but just what is the criteria that you used?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you could make that argument, and we just simply disagree with it. I mean, it's, this week, we routinely do not perceive placement of certain members on committees as a policy issue. Any other question or comment? Seeing none, we are moving on to consideration of possible action on CanFocus subscription. Tom Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. The CanFocus subscription, just a little bit of background. At the July 7th, 2025 LCC meeting, the LCC approved an extension of the current bill tracking service subscription effective back to July 1 of 2025 for 1 year, and this subscription will run through June 30, 2026. And it was, it provided the same level of subscriptions to the legislature, approximately 400, and that includes all legislators, leadership staff, LAS, Revisor's Office, Research, the State Library, but there are about 400 subscriptions. And that's where we stand at the current time, is with a 1-year extension running through June 30 of 2026. There was a bill tracking RFP that was issued in 2024, and no decisions were made on that, so that's why the motion was made in July of this year to extend the contract 1 more year, and then go from there as to what will happen on the CanFocus subscription. Mr. Chairman, I'll stand for questions if there are any.
Speaker Hawkins had a question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. No question, but the one thing we do know now, because we've went through this several times, is so many times we don't learn about this contract coming up until the last minute. This next year, I would like to bring that up in April to where everybody has a chance to see where we're at on the contract, make any revisions at that time for the new contract to start on June 30th, which is the contract date.
Tom, what was the RFP amount for the additional bill tracking piece?
What was the RFP?
Yeah.
It included different aspects, including a 50-state bill tracking service, as well as what we have, but put into an RFP type process so that other companies would know what they needed to match or to provide to the legislature. And there are other aspects that CanFocus provides to some of our leadership offices that are in addition. It's not in addition. It's within the subscription rate, but they provide work with the, I believe, at least one or two or both of the majority leader offices, as well as other aspects of that CanFocus subscription.
Weren't there some additional features we were looking at to to bring on with CanFocus? Is that?
Yes, sir. There were some additional features that had been offered within the proposal. One of those was it was called Government Scribe Live, something like that, that offered the ability to transcribe some of the meetings or maybe all the meetings, committee meetings, as well as chamber activities. And that was one aspect of it. There was also the possibility, they had worked out a deal with one of the companies that provides a 50 bill state tracking for I won't say a hefty fee, but it was a good increase in the fee of the regular subscription rate. But I believe from what I understand, CanFocus has developed their own type of transcription service. I don't know much about it, but
Yeah, that actually now, thank God for staff, right? It was the ability to watch the video of the meeting, get transcripts, summarize, outlines, and actually, this is what I remember seeing it was a $42,000 addition to our contract. So we hadn't talked about it. I think there was some desire, at least amongst the Senate leadership staff, to have that function, but I don't know, obviously the House may not share that same deal. So I think what I want to do on this is I'd like to take a motion to add this subscription. If we pass, we pass, and if we don't, we don't. I'm not going to fight over it, but I would entertain a motion to add the feature. Senator Schallenberg. I'll make that motion. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Majority Leader Blasey. So I have a motion. Any discussion on that? Speaker Hawkins.
Yeah, so I'm not against adding that feature at the appropriate time. I'm just against adding that feature now. We went through an RFP process. We decided to bring extend the contract for 1 year. I think the appropriate time to look at everything globally is in April, to where we can make a decision by the June meeting time, which hopefully will be somewhere around the 1st or middle of June, to where June 30th won't be an issue this year. We won't be nudging up against any timeline. So for that reason, I'm going to be a no on it at this time.
And I can appreciate that. We agree on enough.
Go ahead and chime in if I may.
Oh, yeah, Representative Carpenter.
Thank you. I would like to just echo the comments and sentiments of the speaker. And I mean, he put it, he's very articulate in his comments there, and I completely agree with them. And so for that, I will also be a no at this time. Thank you.
Okay, further comments or questions? Representative Woodard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think for me, sure, changing the contract in the middle of the year is interesting, but, we already have all of the meetings live streamed. There's a lot of web-based tools where you can get AI summaries and transcripts of that. I don't know how quickly we could train all 165 members of the legislature to do that. So I think, I hope that we can actually get more legislators to use CanFocus, because I know the leadership offices use it for tracking. We can't watch every meeting possible. So I think for me, it comes down to this is one more tool that can make it just a little easier to do our job for next session. And then, but I do hear the speaker on RFP process going forward beyond this year. Thank
Representative Croft, do you wish to make it a full house?
Sure. Well, thank you, Mr. President. We already have a lot of that capability. We have a summary that goes on every day. We get that. And so I would kind of agree that this sounds like something we ought to have at the next step of this process. But I'm pretty comfortable with what the Speaker Pro Tem's office already does for us. So.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no?
No.
On mine, that's 4-4. Motion fails. All right, that was the last thing on the agenda. We are adjourned.